This is the Canon Powershot G1X, a prosumer point-and-shoot camera by Canon, and the highlight about this point-and-shoot camera is that the sensor is almost the same size as an APS-C sensor, and APS-C sensors are usually found on DSLRs, so that means that with this camera you're able to take almost close to DSLR quality photos, which is kind of cool. It's got a zoom lens with a 35mm equivalent focal length of 28mm to 112mm. So let's start with the design. The Canon Powershot G1X is made out of stainless steel, black stainless steel too, so it looks pretty professional looking. And unfortunately, because it's stainless steel, the camera is also kind of heavy as well, so that's one thing that you might want to take note of. And another thing that you want to notice that the lens is a lot bigger, so because of that, it's not your average point-of-shoot camera that you carry around, so it just kind of sticks out like this. And because of that, there's a lot of things about it, because it's got a huge lens, apart from it sticking out. They could also no longer fit in an automatic little cover. So the previous cameras, the G11 and G12, actually has a little shutter that closes automatically when you turn off the camera. That no longer happens with this particular camera. You need to have this lens cap, which can be a little bit annoying. So thankfully they do come with this little hook here so that you don't lose the lens cap. So but another thing that you want to know about the design is that the grip is pretty awesome. So actually it gives you a very good feel of the camera, and gives you a very good hold of the camera, and which is very helpful when it comes to taking photos. The G1X comes with an optical viewfinder, but obviously you're not going to be seeing whatever that's coming out directly from the lens, so to make up for that, what Canon has done with is that they've put a little bit of zoom elements as well. So when you are zooming the actual lens, when you're zooming in using the camera, the viewfinder will zoom in as well, but there's a few issues with that. One, you will not be able to see things like the focus. So when the lens at the bottom is out of focus, you will not be able to tell from up here. The second thing is that when it is not zoomed in at all, so at 1x, you actually see the lens. So the lens is actually blocking your view, which is really funny, making this viewfinder quite redundant. So you're much better off using the LCD screen. And thankfully it's got a pretty nice swivel LCD, so the LCD will be able to swivel in almost any angle really comfortably, so you can do a lot more interesting things with your photo taking. So let's talk about the controls on this camera. This is a prosumer camera after all, so controls are going to be quite important, and thankfully the G1X is not short of dials. The camera has two primary controls. You've got a dial right here, and it's got another one over here, which is this four-way pad. So this thing works in many ways. You can either turn it this way as a wheel, or you can push it in 4 directions. And so in combination, depending on different modes, you'll be able to control different things. In manual, for example, by turning this wheel here, you're changing the shutter speed, and by turning the wheel on the front here, you are changing the aperture. So depending on which mode you are, you'll be able to control different settings with these two dials. And the most awesome part is you can actually customize what these dials do within the settings. So on the P mode, the program mode, I've set it up such that this wheel over here will change the zoom in steps. So over here I'm changing from 35mm to 50mm, 85mm, and so on, while turning this wheel over here allows me to do granular adjustments with the white balance. So this is something that I really like, that it's got two controls here which you can fully customize within the settings menu. And on the top here you've got a mode dial, and you've got your usual stuff. You've got P, TV, AV, and M, and you got C1 and C2 as well. These two are custom modes that saves presets that you set for manual mode. So in a sense, you got 3 manual modes altogether. And over here you have an outer exposure compensation rings, which is really nice in the automatic modes. It allows you to change the exposure compensation on the fly just by turning this little wheel like this. We do find this wheel a little bit stiff though, but I think shouldn't be an issue for you. After a while you will get used to it, and dials that are stiff tend to get soft after a while. And the zoom control is found over here. It's within easy reach, and all of these dials, the great thing I like about them is that they're all within reach of your index finger and your middle finger, so you can control a lot of these settings very easily. Other buttons include an AE lock as well as a menu button. You've got shortcuts to ISO, the flash settings, the display settings, and focus. And you got a button that allows you to adjust where you want the camera to be focusing on, as well as to change the size of the focus. And over here you got to change the metering mode as well. On the top here you have a record button, video record button, and the great thing about this is that you will be able to record video from almost any mode. So set your settings as you would for photography and hit the record button and you'll be able to record your video in those settings itself. You got a playback button on this side, and over here you have a shortcut button that you can customize within the settings to do any preset option that you ask it to do. Overall, I find the controls to be very well placed. They're really within reach within your index finger as well as your thumbs, so you can control all of these settings very easily in the middle of photography. Everything is within reach except one particular setting which I found it to be a little bit annoying, which is manual focus. So there is no ring or any dial or anything like that to allow you to change manual focus. To change the manual focus, you got to hit this button right here and set it from normal focus or macro mode to the manual focus mode, and then turn this particular wheel to focus it manually. So that is a little bit annoying. Thankfully they did put in this little zoom thing here, which basically zooms in the image a lot, so to show you whether is the image in focus or not. In terms of features, this camera has most of the manual features that you would expect to find on a prosumer camera, so you can control and change settings to your heart's content in all of these different features. Of course, there's still your usual auto modes as well as the scenes, and in terms of scenes, they've actually got some interesting scenes found inside here, including a handheld night scene, and basically this works very similar to how it does on the Sony Alpha NEX cameras. Basically in this mode, it allows you to take photos in low light conditions. It'll take several photos and somehow using computers and math make the image much sharper, as if it was taken using a tripod. And it's got an underwater mode as well. Of course you do need a waterproof case, but it does compensate for underwater lighting. And you've got a stitch assist as well, so this is more of like a panorama type of thing where you can take photos, panoramic images. It's able to record 1080p video with this video button. The camera also comes with a built-in flash, which you can flip out just by pushing this little button here, and it's got a hot shoe as well, so you can attach any other flash accessories to this camera. And for connectivity, you've got your usual stuff. You got the AV out, you have a remote control connector, which is kind of nice, and an HDMI port. Unfortunately, there is no microphone in for video recording. The camera also supports optional sold separately extensions, so just push this button and remove this little frame and you can attach different kinds of extensions such as a macro extension and things like that. So that is the Canon Powershot G1X. Overall a pretty good camera, and the photo quality is not too bad as well. From our testing, it does relatively well in low light, so that is probably because of two things. One, the sensor is pretty large for a point and shoot, almost close to APS-C size, so that itself is very impressive. And also it's f2.8 aperture. So in case you're curious about the sensitivity of the camera, at ISO 3200, that is when the grain will start to appear, and at 6400 the pictures really get quite noisy. So that's it for this episode of Gear65. If this video helped you to decide whether this camera really is for you or not, give us a thumbs up, let us know that we're doing a good job, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/65bits, so that you can keep receiving our awesome tech videos. Also, be sure to check out our brand new website at www.tech65.org for more awesome tech, audio, video, and photo content. I'm Daniel, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!